Good evening and welcome to the Star Chamber Show live podcast. It is episode number 443, and another shout out to the guys from Far Cry, especially Pete Fry, their lead guitarist and main songwriter for the intro music that we've always loved having on this show. And it is a great Wednesday evening where I, Steven Zimmer, am broadcasting from in Lexington, Kentucky. And joining me in a minute is the vivacious, the loquacious, and the wonderful Holly Phillippe. But as you know, if you're a regular listener, she's running just a few minutes behind, but she'll be joining us just shortly. And we have a fantastic show for you tonight with a guest that both Holly and I are very excited to have. And our guest is actually in the chat room, so I can't say anything just yet, but I do want to welcome those of you that are coming in, including last week's guest. LJ Mack is back. And yes, if you didn't catch last week's show, you can stream that anytime on Podbean or on any of our other platforms such as Spotify and Amazon, iHeartRadio, and iTunes, and all the good places that you love to hear podcasts. And Dewan Hearn, DL Hearn, Moon is in the chat room. Of course, Sako and the Moon is a great podcast to also catch, where you definitely want to see that podcast. That's a great one that you can catch on YouTube. So, yeah, check that out. Check that out, folks. And yes, yes, we do. Very special guests we do have, in fact, as I'm watching what Moon is leaving in the chat room right now, as a matter of fact. And but Holly will be joining us again and in just a few minutes. But I am going to go ahead and give you all the latest updates because, of course, the Star Chamber Show is affiliated with the Imaginarium Convention, where things are never slow and always busy, and there's always new updates. So we want to keep you up to date. And the last week has been no exception. And tonight you're going to get a scoop on something that got confirmed right before the show on a major guest. How's that for something cool? So hopefully Holly will be able to join me by then. But I will go ahead and tell you who all are the latest additions for Imaginarium 2025. And of course, we proudly welcome international best-selling poet and award-winning author, editor, and booktuber Sandy Lander, the genre blender, as a spotlighted guest. Yes, she is going to be returning to Imaginarium next summer. And of course, she's a regular supporter and listener of the show and just a great all-around person. And we are definitely excited to have Sandy back as a spotlighted guest. She was served as the editor on the first Marathonarium workshop. And that's the one that I did the second one last summer. And it's currently coming together very well. I'm getting some great stories worked with all the authors. They've already been through their first rounds, and I'm already starting to get back some final manuscripts, and it's coming along great. And we anticipate a spring release on that one, by the way, just to give you a little bit of news for Marathonarium 2. And Marathonarium 3 is open for signups. We've had several people sign up already. There's 18 spots. I'd say about half have been claimed already. So, if you want one of those spots, please do check that out. There is a page for that on the Imaginarium site. And, of course, that involves writing a short story that will get professionally edited and also put out in our Imaginarium Marathonarium Anthology, 3rd edition. And so then going onward, we have two panelists to report to you, and one is both are regular listeners of the show, I should say. Author, editor, cosplayer Clayton Barnett, and author and publisher S. Donovan Croft. Both are members of the famous Lemure group. If you've roved our Creatives Alley, you will know them. And yes, they actually do, as of last year, have a stuffed lemur at their table. So you'll know who the lemurs are as of right away. But Clayton and Donovan Croft will be coming as panelists. And Clayton knows a lot about AI topics and intelligent machines and stuff like that. Really, really knowledgeable and fun to talk to about that. And S. Donovan Croft is a really talented science fiction author who has an extensive military background. And so you definitely want to pick his brain, when it comes to things military. He knows his stuff very, very well. And then earlier today, we announced that H. David Blaylock, yes, author and editor, H. David Blaylock will be coming next summer as a spotlighted guest. And he has been writing for over 50 years and He's had novels, novellas, short stories, articles, reviews, and commentary, print and online. He's also the editor for Pear Abnormal magazine from Hereath Publishing, and he's just an absolute great guy. Really knows writing, the craft of writing extremely well, and he's going to be a great addition to our programming. And it does look like Holly is aboard, and so that's good. She made it just in time for the big scoop announcement. So, Holly, you there?
I'm here.
Just making
I'm
sure.
here.
All right. I went down the list of all the new additions and stuff, but I waited and delayed on the one that got confirmed today because I know you want to talk about him, but and of course I'm talking about it. And yes, it's been confirmed, and he will be announced tomorrow. So be ready to share that, because the algorithms are crazy and all the social medias. When you like, share, and comment, that does help us a lot in getting word out. And you will want to get word out on this. He was an Imaginator guest just a couple years ago, but he will be coming this time as a spotlighted guest, and that would be a filmmaker and just amazing guy, Santiago Cirillo, and he is
Yes.
just he is just amazing. And if you remember, if you're any of you are fans of The Walking Dead, you'll recognize him for sure. So Holly, I know you were a fan of that season, right? Season 4, right?
Yeah. And he is also a huge advocate on mental health issues and works with the veterans of foreign wars. And he's a great filmmaker, and he likes to work on films, and he's passionate about getting the message across, from those who suffer with PTSD and
Mhm.
all of those ailments. So he's a great guy. He brings such a joy and such a spirit to him,
Yes.
to the whole convention. When he was there last time, I mean, people were like, man, he was just a ball of light. And I said, I know he
Yes.
is. He's just a
Yeah.
great fellow. He's a great person. If you have any filmmaking questions, or if you were fans of The Walking Dead, he's always willing to talk about it. He was passionate about that project too. He loved The Walking Dead, and so he was thrilled when he got to actually work, as an actor on there. But yeah, he's been busy the past 3 years, and he couldn't make it back. He's been wanting to come back. He had so much fun last time, but he's been working on films, so he's been busy.
Yeah, he has, and he also, I should mention that he's a podcaster for Hyatt Nation, and has something that he is very focused on: healing mental health with
Yeah,
motivation and humor through entertainment. And of course, he's also an author and Army veteran, and all kinds of stuff. A lot of people may not know this, but he actually worked for a long time at Gibson Guitars, and he used to
yeah,
build guitars, and he made them for a lot of A-list artists, including Lenny Kravitz, Keith Urban, Tony Keith, all kinds of like huge names that he used
which
to
is really cool. Yeah,
build their custom guitars for. He also was the only builder for Chet Atkins's guitars for Chet Atkins. So I mean, yeah, he has a great music industry background too, which you might enjoy talking to him about.
great
Yeah,
guy.
just, great
Great guy.
guy, and we will be announcing him tomorrow, and he will be joining us again at Imaginarium. And all you filmmaker folks are going to be very, very excited to
Yes,
hear from him. Yeah, definitely, I know you will.
yes.
And so now, is there anything else you got, Holly, or we go to the folks that
That is
sponsor today's
it.
show?
I'm a little down in the weather, so I'm just chillaxing here and going to enjoy this great guest.
Yes, yes. And so we will get to that in just a minute. But the folks that brought you tonight's show are Sandy Lander, the genre blender, and of course, that fine fellow, Ren Garcia. Keep putting the pressure on him. Get on him. Tell
Yes,
him to make sure he
yes.
comes in person to Imaginarium so we can have a lot of fun celebrating with him because he's been such a great supporter of the Star Chamber show. So we'll go with Ren first with his famous question, and then we'll give you a little from Sandy. But here's Ren.
The League of Elder dares to be unusual. It's easy to be swept away in this bold and uninhibited landscape where fantastic heroes become old friends and sinister villains inhabit every dark corner. Dare to explore things best left alone. Each book is your lantern, lighting the path to a world never before seen. So what do you say? Are you weird enough for us?
Yes, we are, Ren. Absolutely can confirm that. And thank you very much for your support. And check out his League of Elders series. It is fantastic. And here's a little bit from Sandy with Silver Bells, that holiday season novel that you all need to get.
What happens if you schedule a Krampus movie on the Hallmark Channel? You get Silver Bells from Sandy Lender. The reviews are coming in for this new holiday horror, and readers are loving the mature female lead and the spooky Christmas setting. BestThrillers.com gave Silver Bells a highly recommended rating, saying, through striking visuals, Reindeer Creek reads like a mashup of Washington Irving's haunted forests in The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, the greed-induced decay of Pottersville in It's a Wonderful Life, and the glitzy electric spectacle of The Great Christmas Light Fight. Grab your copy of Silver Bells by Sandy Lender today.
And thank you, Sandy Lender, the genre blender. Hope you're having a great night. And check out her YouTube channel, Sandy Says Read. Great channel. She's posting new content on it all the time. And so now getting back to things, and yes, I did see Moon's comment about yes how Clayton would correct the use of the term AI with expert systems. Yes, but Moon, I'm speaking to a mainstream general audience. I have to use language that people in the mainstream actually understand. So yeah, yeah, Clayton can, yes, he can be very particular about his perspectives, but
Not
yeah,
everybody
not
understands.
everybody will know what I'm talking about. So, oh yeah, he's something else, I tell you. But yes, we're going to go straight into our guest for the evening, and this is great. I've been looking forward to having her on the show for quite a while, and I'm glad that tonight it worked out. And she is a multi-award-winning screenwriter and author, very known for the Nathan Perry Mystery Series, and she is a guest and frequent uh, guest at conventions and conferences all around the area and at Imaginarium. And so tonight, she's a regular listener of the Star Chamber Show, and it's great to, and I'm honored to have her on the Star Chamber Show as a featured guest. I believe for the first time. This is the one, the only Carol Preflatish. Carol,
Yay!
hey,
Hi,
there you are.
Carol!
glad to be
You're
here.
in the you're in the guest chair tonight. Yes.
Yeah.
So you better be ready.
Oh,
we're,
that's what I'm
we're gonna have
afraid of.
we're gonna have we're gonna have fun, and I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, they've been, of course, we definitely thank you for being a regular listener to the show, but you certainly deserve to be a guest because yeah, you've just been on fire the last few years, both in the prose and screenplay side, and you've been just very productive. Anybody that follows you online can see what I'm talking about. With all your screenplays and your progress there and awards, and of course the Nathan Perry mysteries, and of course you're a very active photographer as well, and a very amazing one, I might add. And so yeah, you got a lot going on, and and one day we'll get to getting our trademark on that bourbon dispenser that we once talked about years ago. But
Oh, you still remember that?
yes, I sure do. But how can I forget that? But but I know you're probably too busy for those ventures yet because you have been busy. So yeah, tell us how you've been, and yeah, give us a little bit of an update on your world right now.
Well, I have been very busy. I retired from my day job several years ago, and I spend pretty much my days and nights writing. I don't know what I would do if I didn't write. So yeah, I've working on a screenplay right now. Got about maybe 30 pages left before it's done. Um, I'm working on another Nathan Perry book, and I finished a one-page screenplay, which was it blew my mind because I'd never heard of one-page screenplays. But I saw a competition where they were asking for one page. I thought, well, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm terrible at writing short stories, so I didn't know how this worked, but it came out really well. Actually, it probably took me longer to make a poster for it than what it took to write it.
That's great. So when is that going to be judged, or what's the timetable on that competition?
I think January or February, they make the announcement on that. So we'll see how it goes.
That's
Now,
neat.
That is the definition of a short film then. So it's a bit
Wow.
Yeah.
a minute to 2 minute long film, roughly, right?
Yep.
Somewhere
That's
around there.
it. Most of what I wrote is narration. I mean, there's two people in it, two characters in it, and I think each one of them has maybe two lines.
Well,
Wow.
you could do one maybe if you did it just a narration, and you could have a page of just narration about a long drone shot that goes over the Amazon jungle at a very slow speed, and then the actual movie could be like a 5 hour movie then. But that'd be about the only
Actually, I know Holly saw my video that I put of my sweet potato in the microwave the other day that was, as she
Yes,
said, possessed.
it was
Well,
possessed.
I posted on Blue Sky. I posted that video on there, and I said I think I should write a short about somebody eating a possessed sweet potato, and I got some really good responses from that. People
Nice.
they want me to write it.
in
Well, that would be an interesting story.
I would watch that movie in a heartbeat and read that.
Well,
Yes, and I
that's
would
what people were
definitely.
saying. We'll watch it.
Yes, I would definitely watch that.
Today's market is quirky enough that could probably be a hit. Just
Yeah, yeah.
looking at what's out there right now that catches on. I mean, yeah, we of course got a lot of crazy stuff that you wouldn't think it would get popular, but I tell you, once it hits the social media, and
Sharknado.
yep,
Hello.
uh-huh, things
Yeah.
take off. And they made a derivative of that called, I think, Catnado recently.
Catnado. Yep.
I haven't seen about cats, but
Yeah.
Well, I would definitely watch that.
yeah,
I know.
but yeah, there's definitely room, yeah, for that to become a big hit probably. So you should probably do it.
Yeah, I'll add it to my list.
There you go.
That would not only would that be humor for me, but it'd be terrifying because I love sweet potatoes. I mean, that's one of my
Oh yeah,
favorites.
me too.
Holly always is kind enough to make a little side of sweet potatoes for me at the holiday meals, because nobody else in the house likes them but me. But she,
Yeah.
Well, me and you. I can
yeah,
eat any kind of. I like to
yeah,
mash them though. I put brown
yeah,
sugar and a bunch
yeah.
of butter and
Oh yeah,
mash them. Oh
love
man,
them.
that's the way my dad got so he would eat them is mine. But I like just a great a baked one like you did in the microwave with
Yeah.
butter. Oh,
Hmm.
good stuff.
Little cinnamon on it. Little cinnamon on it.
Yep,
And,
yep. Throw some cinnamon in there. And good
and
stuff.
and now Carol's going to take it next level and show us what it's like when one actually gets possessed. This is going to be
Well,
good.
hey, I have to credit Holly for that because she's the one that said it looks possessed.
Yeah,
That's
it looked and sounded possessed. I
Yeah.
swear, that was hysterical.
Yep.
I I said that gives a whole new meaning to a hot potato.
well, since if this happened just recently, you could set it against the backdrop of this time of year, so that in the future everybody can debate about whether it is a Christmas movie or not, like they do with Gremlins and
For
Die
Die
Hard.
Hard.
And yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
you could
Yep,
enter the
that's it.
conversation then with the Carol Preflatish project. But that sounds a lot of fun. That sounds a
It
lot of
does
fun.
sound fun. Well,
But
before we get into for uber serious topics, since it's only like a few days from Christmas, what is your favorite go-to movie for the holiday, Carol?
Definitely White Christmas.
White Christmas.
I have
nice.
to watch White Christmas at least once every year at Christmas time.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
good one.
good. That's a great one. Yeah, that's a great one.
And I love classic movies, so that has to be it.
Yeah, I'm big on classics too. That's why Christmas Vacation's my must-watch each year.
Yes.
That's
And
yeah.
Krampus. We have to watch
Yes,
Krampus.
we do watch
One.
Krampus. It's probably not considered a Christmas classic, but definitely a fun one, but for sure.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I saw a lot of online debates recently about what's the best Christmas movie, and yeah, White Christmas, It's a Wonderful Life, and lots of
Miracle on 30. Yeah.
yeah, and of course I jumped in on a couple of those threads. I was like, oh, it's indisputable that Christmas Vacation, that's the one. But because that Christmas Vacation I relate to because the chaos of that movie is what I most relate to in my own world.
Oh,
So
I love it when they say squirrel. Yeah, the squirrel come out of the tree in the house. That was fantastic.
Yeah, and Randy Quaid's finest moment is Cousin Eddie. I mean, that was definitely
Yeah,
his,
the shitter's full.
yeah, magnum opus performance. But yeah, that's coming up next week. Yeah, and interestingly, yeah, Chris, this year the way the calendar worked out, yeah, both Christmas and Hanukkah both fall. Well, Hanukkah begins on sundown on the 25th, but yeah, they both fall on the same day. So yeah, there'll be a lot of celebrating
Wow.
across the country for sure on the 25th. But yeah, definitely looking forward to yeah getting a week of little more R&R hopefully, but you know how it is, Carol. you, you
I
intend you
do.
tend to you intend to get rest, but you don't.
I'm going to my daughter's for breakfast and with her and her family for breakfast that morning, and I have a feeling by the afternoon I will be home writing.
Yeah, you've been yeah, like I said, I mean, just whether it's screenplays or prose, I mean, because you not too long ago got your fourth book in the Nathan Perry mystery series out, so you've got up to four there, and another one is coming on the horizon, yeah, at some point. But how's the response been going to that from what you're hearing?
I've had really good response. I've been to several events where I've been selling in person, and once I tell them that it's loosely based on the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, boy, they just gravitate right toward it.
Yep, and that would be Murder in Mystic Hollow, the latest one, and definitely a yeah great book. And yeah, you can tell when you see that cover though. Yeah, it's definitely got that kind of atmosphere
Oh, great cover, yeah.
that did end up looking really good. And but it's yeah, well each of them. The fun part about that series is no you can read them independently, and they're standalones as well
Yeah.
as being a
That's
series.
cool. Yeah.
So yeah, they do build. If you've read them all, of course, you definitely can see where they build with each other. But also, if you do encounter one of them, and at any given time, you can just read it on its own and enjoy it. And I think that's one of the cool things about your series is that fact that you can pick up any of the books and read it on its own without having to be familiar with everything. I think you do
And
it.
as a reader and I love reading series, I like that aspect of other authors' books because I read a lot of other authors' books out of order. So I mean that's kind of why I did it that way.
Yep, and that's yeah, like I said, four books and a fifth being developed. I
I'm
mean,
writing it now.
yeah,
Yep.
you're right. And that's an interesting question though, because now that you are a very active screenwriter, um, how do you balance the two, and how do you workflow the two? I mean, do you do one thing at a time, or do you sometimes have the screenplays going almost concurrent with the other based on a given daily based writing session?
It depends on how I'm feeling for the day. Right now, I'm mostly working on a screenplay because I want to get it entered into Imaginarium's competition. So I want to get it done. So that's my primary focus right now is to get that one finished. But if I get bogged down, I get stuck on something, then I know I have another project that I can go to, so I can switch back and forth between them.
Does that help with the you mentioned getting bogged down? Does that help with
Yeah,
getting past like what we would call maybe like a writer's block then?
yeah. I don't like calling it that, but yeah,
Yeah,
I just get
yeah.
stuck. I can't. I don't not sure where I want the next scene to go or the next chapter if I'm on a book to go
Mhm.
in taking a little break away from it and working on something else and then something will pop into my head and think, oh yeah, I need to that's and I can go back to the book or the screenplay, whichever one I'm working on.
Dwan says, "Uh-oh, there goes my chances."
It's going to be a feature, Dwan. It was
Nice.
going to be a short, but I got into it so much because it's about witches. I got into it so much that it ended
Yes.
up being a feature.
Well, that's a
Nice.
that's a cue for Holly. Go ahead, Holly. I know that
Nice.
now that she's raised the topic.
Well,
I
what what
love
what what kind of witches are we
I
talking?
love
Kitchen
witches.
witches?
It's the witches that are in eastern Kentucky, in the mountains of eastern
Ooh,
Kentucky.
Appalachian mountain witches.
Yes, yes, yes.
Nice. Mountain
It's
magic.
called yeah. It is, and I've done. And I'm like Stephen. He was talking about research the other day. I love research, So I have been, and they're called granny witches. So I've
Yep.
been researching the granny witches.
Yep. Oh man, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, you like to delve into mountain lore, Holly. I know that. So that
I
sounds like it's up your alley for
I
sure.
love it, love it. And I'm gonna tell you that those granny witches, they can heal you of about anything. I don't
And
care what
that's
you.
and that's it. I delve into the healing. That's what gets that's how it starts.
Nice. Yes, their tinctures and salves, everything they make, and then they got well, they make a lot of, drinks. Take a shot of this, take a
Yep.
shot of that. Yes, and with the herbs that grow on those mountains, and you got that beautiful air out there too, and that water, those streams
Yep.
and mountains are good for you. They
Hmm.
really are.
Yep. That's exactly how the screenplay goes.
Yeah. Plus the
Oh,
mountain
that's gonna be
setting, that gives you
fun.
atmosphere too.
Yes.
If you've ever been in the
Oh
mountains
yeah.
around our region, yeah,
Yep.
definite old kind of mountains, the Appalachians and all, and yeah, it gives a great atmospheric kind of element. That sounds great. That's
Yes,
great.
and you've got well, you could, the creature aspect too in there because, oh, you've got the cave systems and, highly wooded areas, heavily
Mhm.
wooded. I mean, there's just so many different avenues you could take with it, and
Yeah, it's
that's
fun.
just it's just fascinating. So that's definitely gonna be fun.
And
It
then,
has been so much fun to write. I'm just
I
enjoying
bet.
every bit of it.
yeah, I imagine so. Yeah, now and then you'll have to get to my favorite witches, the witches of the desert, also known as sand witches.
Stop it.
Sorry, I couldn't help
Stop it,
myself. Could not help
George.
myself. but but uh, but no, that
Thought
no.
you
In
were
all
being
seriousness,
serious there for a minute.
who me? Serious?
That's
No, of course not.
uh, uh,
But but no, seriously though, I'm being serious though. It does sound like a great project, and definitely, I know that there's I think a great market for that because I think a lot of people these days are very interested in that kind of lore, and there's a general interest in witches. Period now, and so I think you're hitting more than one topic that I think people really are kind of hungry for.
Yeah,
And
I think it's pretty popular right now to write about.
did you use Holly as a reference on anything?
No, but I may have to give her a call sometime.
I'm always available.
Yeah, she's
Oh, and
always
Holly, I may get to go to Salem, Massachusetts in March.
Oh my gosh, I'm so
nice.
excited. I know
I'm
we've been
keeping my
saying
fingers crossed.
we need a road trip for years and just
Yeah.
never got to it. Oh man, I hope you
Well,
get to go.
well,
I will
my
live
my daughter
vicariously.
my daughter and her family are planning a trip to Boston over spring break, and she asked me if I wanted to go with them, and I said, "Yeah, but can we take a day and drive up to Salem?" And she goes,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah." So we're hoping for that.
Yeah, you
Oh man.
definitely should take some of your Nathan Perry books up there, and if you encounter a few bookshops around the way, you ought to introduce them to it because your books there fit perfect in the setting of
Yeah.
towns in that region. I mean,
There is
it's
a
perfect.
bookstore up there called there's a bookstore up there called Wicked Good Books, and I'm definitely planning to stop in there.
Mhm. Yeah,
Oh
because
man.
your books fit any. I mean, that would be I think a very popular regional thing for your series. I mean, definitely
Yeah.
fit in that area
Oh
so
yeah.
well.
And it's a tax write off. The
Yes,
That's
whole
right.
trip.
yeah,
That's right.
we writers do not have many perks. I mean, in terms of being most indie writers, unless you hit the big list and sell millions of copies. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not always the most rewarding pursuit, but by God, when it comes to tax write offs, that is one.
Yep.
There's a lot. when you,
Yep.
yeah, like Amazon, yeah, many of my Amazon orders can technically go on that because they're often like historical research books and things like that. So,
Yeah. I know what you mean.
oh yeah, yeah, that stuff comes in handy. But yeah, and so that's cool. I knew that you've been wanting to go up to Salem, and yeah, glad to hear that confirmed that you're definitely going to get up there. I know you'll be taking, knowing you with your photography. I know we're going to get to see a lot of it.
Oh, I can't wait to see the
Uh,
pictures.
Yeah, I
Yep.
know you'll be.
Planning on taking lots.
Yep, I knew you would be. So that's gonna be great. And actually, that's gonna be creatively cool too. I bet you come back
Yeah,
and
you're
write
gonna get
about.
inspired.
You're gonna come
Yeah,
back and write like
I'm
three
hoping.
Nathan Perry mysteries in like the next 4 months after that trip.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so because I haven't got any ideas after I finish the one I've got. I've got like a couple chapters done, but after that, I'm out of ideas for Nathan. What's going to happen with him? So I need to come up with something.
Or the spinoff with a certain female police officer.
I'm
Yeah.
still working on I actually have made notes for a book on how she became a police officer,
Oh, that's awesome.
and it
That's awesome.
ends with the beginning of Homecoming to Murder when Nathan walks in to the police department for the first time.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah,
But
I
there
will
again,
definitely.
that's on my to write list.
Yeah. Oh, that will be one I definitely look forward to. Yeah, because I think that she's a great character, a great character. But yeah, that's gonna be good. And I bet you do come back with some ideas for new books once you get done
I
with
hope
that.
so. Yeah.
You know, traveling is a good thing, and yeah, I've been kind of whining to Holly that we haven't done enough of it in recent years. So
Yeah.
I'm aching to get out there myself, but definitely will be vicariously enjoying your trip through your photography because I know I'll be seeing those posts
Oh
for
yeah, definitely.
sure, but for sure. So so what is I think you have something else that you wanted to talk about tonight too, which
I've
is kind of
never made
exciting.
a Yeah, I've never made a big announcement in front of an audience like this before. So this is a first for me. The timing this really happened really well.
It's a scoop
Um,
too. Yeah, no
yeah,
one's
it's
heard
a
about
scoop.
this.
It's a scoop. I won't announce it on social media till tomorrow. Today, I signed a 3-book contract with Seventh Star Press for a new series called the Coyote Canyon Mystery Series, which is a contemporary mystery series that takes place in Colorado, and it's about the sheriff out there. So I'm really looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, this one looks distinctly different from the Nathan
Good.
Perry
Yeah,
series.
that's what I'm trying to keep them different like that.
Yeah, it definitely does. From like I said, I'm not going to talk much because I'm not going to give away spoilers that you don't want out there. But it's distinctly different both in the characters and the setting. And I think that folks are really going to find this one really interesting. But if you want to talk a little bit about the first book, you're more than welcome to because I think
Yeah, the
and
first
people will be
book
interested to
is
hear it.
Yeah, the first book is called Exposure, and the reason it's titled that is exposure in this instance means an area in the mountains where it's open enough where if somebody would should fall, it would result in death. And in this book, somebody does fall and does die, and that's the murder that the sheriff is investigating.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I can't wait till Holly gets to delve more into this one too. It's a something that Carol and I have been corresponding about, but you're gonna love this series, Holly. And I
That
know
sounds
some,
good.
and then in our household, I know Beck is a huge fan of Carol's work. So yeah,
Yes, so she'll
Beck
be
will eat these
excited
up.
to hear this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, Stephen, after you and I talked today, I've got the second. I've actually started. I've got the second book about half done, and but I haven't worked on it for over a month because of everything else I'm doing. But I'm hoping to release, alternate that and a Nathan Perry book to kind of keep both series going. But after I talked to you today, I think I came up with the idea for the third book, which I had not figured. I had several ideas, but I think I've narrowed it down now. So I think I've got the third book uh, ready to go whenever I get ready to write it.
Well, I'm glad our brief online chat today was that inspiring that you
Uh,
that you got a full book idea. But
Yeah. Hey, I
but
get you never. I get ideas in the weird. Lately most of my ideas come when I'm at the gym. I go to
Mhm.
Planet Fitness 2 or 3 times a week, and they of course they have all the TV screens across one wall, and one of their screens has their own little Planet Fitness channel, and they show a lot of GoPro commercials on that.
Mhm.
And GoPro is always out doing something, whether it's skydiving or skiing or sledding or rollerblading. And I've come up with ideas for a couple books from seeing GoPro's commercials on there.
Yes, and mounting them on cameras on cats too, which is something I'm very
Yeah,
tempted to do. I
Those are
really want to
fun.
do that.
I've seen
Yeah,
those.
yeah, those are
See
a
what
lot
your
of fun.
cat does all day. But yeah, I mean, you can get inspiration from just anywhere. You
Yeah,
know, even you go out for the day to run errands. I mean, you never know what kind of person you're going to see that could inspire a character, whether it's the way they dress or how they carry themselves or just their appearance. That
yeah,
could inspire a character, the way they talk. Or you could see some kind of artwork somewhere, a doctor's office. I mean, yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. The
yeah,
world is your oyster, and yeah, just to look around, be in the moment.
Yeah. Well, she'll definitely be in she'll literally be in the setting for, I mean, in many ways for her Nathan Perry mysteries when she does the
Yeah.
yeah.
stand-up. She's going to be in that type of setting. Exactly. So
It's
that's
really funny
fun.
because my writers group that I belong to in Louisville, I'm kind of known for writing a lot of my settings about places that I've never been to. Never been to Salem, Massachusetts, which is what Mystic is based off of.
Mhm.
I've never been to Colorado, which I want to so bad. Now my next
Yeah.
series is
Yeah.
based in Colorado, so that'll be my next goal is to get out there.
Well, your synopsis definitely had a Western feel. I mean, Western setting feel to it. I should say,
Yeah.
not that it's a Western, but it's a
Right,
warm
right.
Western setting, and that came through like in spades on your synopsis. And so I think, yeah, you do your homework though, and I
Yeah.
no
Well,
writer should be afraid to write about something they haven't maybe physically been to if you do the homework. And now today, I think we have more tools than ever to explore things with YouTube and everything else, so you can get so much on
Oh yeah.
the
exactly.
sense of a place and
Yeah,
geography
the
and
world
people.
is a much smaller place now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. But still nothing beats, getting to see it in person and
Yeah.
feeling the vibes and having the experience.
that's why Carol will have to get her Aspen, Colorado like cabin, for her vacation home pretty soon, so she can go visit
There you go.
Colorado when she wants.
The sheriff in the series does live in a cabin in the mountains.
There you go. That's what I
Well,
was.
there you go.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yep.
So, but you're gonna be fairly close to where I was born because I was actually born in Denver, Colorado. So
Oh,
that's cool. Yeah, I'm enjoying
yeah.
that.
Rocky
I always
Mountain
wanted to go
High.
out there.
Yeah, I didn't last too long there because we moved before I was about one, so I think so. I wasn't there too long, but but I definitely started my road there, and yeah, the mountains are there, just beautiful. I mean, so majestic, and yeah, that setting is just great. So I think you picked a great one to mine for your series, and
Well, I love snow-covered mountains. I have my screen or my the background on my computer is actually of Main Street of the town I'm basing it off of. So I get
Oh,
yeah,
inspired every time I'm sitting at the computer.
nice, yeah. And yeah, I do the same. I draw a lot of inspiration from the definite photography and video and things of that with places I haven't necessarily been to yet. And but yeah, you'll have to sneak into Planet Fitness and hack in their Wi-Fi and run one of your book trailers on all the
Oh
TVs while everybody's
yeah.
working out.
there you go.
Yeah.
Especially now you gotta have two series concurrent. That's gonna be a lot of fun too.
Oh yeah,
You
I guess.
you guess?
I'm a glutton
Seems
for
like a lot
punishment.
of stress.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's your pace of writing though. I mean, I don't think it'll be too
Yeah,
bad though. I mean,
you'll
you
be
really
fine.
you were one of those people that's a good example of someone who writes regularly, which is what I beg all writers to do.
Yeah.
Not worry
I
about word counts, but write regularly.
the Coyote Canyon book that I wrote that in 6 months, and that's probably just about the quickest I've ever
Mhm.
written a book.
Yeah, I remember you hinting about this one. You had some cryptic things that you would say on social media and stuff that you were working on something that you really liked a lot, and so I
Yeah,
was
I love this series.
So I was wondering what was percolating, and so I was pretty excited when you revealed it.
Yeah, yep. That now you know.
Yeah, now everybody knows as of tonight
Yes,
and going
That's right.
and
forward.
even more we'll know tomorrow.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, along with you'll be able to have this to link to share with everybody this episode. So yeah, to hear
Yes.
more about it. But yeah, it looks like you have a nice. From what I can tell already, I haven't gotten to dive, fully extensively into the manuscript full yet, as far as like from an editor's perspective. But what I can tell so far is you once again you seem to have put together a real great ensemble of characters around your protagonist, and like you
Yep.
did with Nathan Perry, you rounded it out with a nice ensemble from what I
Yes,
can see.
I love doing. I love
Mhm.
character development.
Yep, and you've got that, and I can tell it's a distinct group as well. So, yeah, if you read the Nathan Perry series, you're not going to see this as it's new, it's something different, and I think that's going to be a nice bonus for your readers. But is it going to take how's the general vibe of it genre wise though? Does it take a more of a thriller aspect, or is it going to stay in a little bit more of the vein of the Nathan Perry mysteries as far as the general tone or style of it?
Yeah, pretty much the same. It's a more or less a police procedural type.
Hmm.
I get in, as with the Nathan Perry, I get in a little bit to their personal lives. The sheriff has a girlfriend that there's problems on again and off again. So I get into that, but basically it's a mystery. It's a who done it. Who pushed the guy off the cliff. The FBI is involved in it. The Forest Service becomes involved in it. It's just it's a big ensemble.
Nice, yeah, and that's what makes a story shine when you have a good ensemble. For sure. And as you know, I do love a lot of your other characters that are in the Nathan Perry mystery. So, yeah, I think it'll be fun to see everything that you've got fleshed out in this one, too, because you have a FBI agent that sounds really interesting in this one, and you've got the girlfriend that sounds really interesting, and there's a whole lot of stuff. And your villains sound interesting. So,
Yeah.
really,
And the end of I'm not going to give away the ending,
no,
but the end of this one, of the first one, even though it will be a standalone, all of them will also be standalones. The ending of this one will lead you into the beginning of the next one.
nice,
That's
nice.
all I'm going to say.
Yes, yeah, I didn't want to. I'm being very careful about what I say because, yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't want to give away too much tonight. But yeah, the Coyote Canyon mystery series is on the move now. So yeah, Garrel's got another one coming at you, folks, and it's going to be a nice 62 book series. And
I don't think I'm going to live long enough to write that many. I'm an old woman.
well, you're getting into that mountain magic, so who knows? You might
That's
learn
Oh,
right.
some.
yeah.
You might
Witches
learn.
live forever.
Yeah, you
That's
might learn
right.
some secrets
One
and
form or another.
end up going a
Yeah.
few hundred years or so. So you never know. but
That's
no,
that's
this is great.
that's written into the
Congratulations.
screenplay too.
Yeah, but congratulations. Yeah, 'cause, it's exciting. Yeah, I'm glad you have a new series that's really seems to have really got your attention. Yeah, because just watching your comments online, yeah, this one really has grabbed you
Yeah.
creatively. So that's awesome. And you mentioned too. I mean, you've been. I want to mention too that you've been on quite a tear lately. Because I mean, in our correspondences, I've heard that you've been selling books quite a bit and had some very successful appearances. And how have the fall? How has the fall schedule been? Because you've been doing a lot of events. I've noticed.
I have been busy. Yeah, at least one a month, if not more. Uh, my books sell great in person. I love talking to the people that come up to the table. I was at one. I live in Jeffersonville, Indiana, and I was at a craft fair, holiday craft fair, about a month ago, and had all four of my books out. And this one lady and her husband came up. Of course, they asked me about the books, and I explained it's a series, but you can read them in any order. And a lot of people, in addition to my new book, because it's based on Sleepy Hollow, love my witch hunt book because
Hmm.
everybody loves to read about witches. And so she couldn't decide whether she wanted the witch hunt book or she wanted the Mystic Hollow book. She ended up buying the witch hunt book, And
Hmm.
then about 10 minutes later, I was, nobody around my table, and I'd been eyeing this one vendor that was selling these gorgeous little ceramic dragons. So I went over to look at their items that they had, and I happened to turn back around, and this lady and her husband were back at my table. So I hurried back over there, and she says, "I want to get the other book too. I have to come back." So I thought, hey, I'm not going to argue.
Nice. You love it when that happens. Yeah,
Oh, yes, yes.
you definitely do. And yeah, that's funny you mentioned that though you get drawn to the other vendors because that's always the
Yeah.
big danger with Holly when we go to events because there's
Yes.
arts if it's an arts and crafts show she's quickly drawn to some of those
I have to be
some of
careful
those
I don't spend more than I'm
yeah,
making.
right, that's what I'm like, Holly, be careful please. We've sold a few but not that many.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted one of these little dragon figurines so bad, and I turned it over and it was like $90. Like, no, can't
Oh,
do that. I mean, they were
oh,
gorgeous, but nope, can't do that.
And those arts and
ouch.
crafts are, I can't say it enough, and I've shared this with young writers all the time. It's like they only tend to look at like book fairs or book festivals and things like that to do their live events at. I'm like, get in there with the craft fairs and
Yes.
things because I mean
Yes.
when you're
I
surrounded
feel
by
better.
variety, it makes you it helps people
You
talk
sell
to you.
better.
Yeah,
I
you really
sell
do.
more at the craft
Yep.
fairs than I do at book fairs.
Yeah, you do.
100% because there's less people to butt heads with,
Yeah.
and
But
you're unique. You stand out that way, and
But
yeah.
there are the craft fairs that I go to here in town. There's always other authors there, but
But not a
we
ton.
well, like Irv Klein was at this particular craft fair. We don't write similar books,
Hmm.
and he was talking to
Yeah.
somebody. I happened to be standing behind him, and he was talking, and the lady did not like what he wrote, but he said, "Do you like murder mysteries?" Because, and I said, "Yeah, I'm right here." I've got murder mysteries. So
There you
we
go.
we play off of each other.
Mhm.
If the person doesn't, if we don't have what the person's looking for, we can send them to another author.
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
Absolutely.
That
And
helps.
but it's good to work in these events where it's a variety of things like a craft fair,
Yeah.
art fair, and have a few of those on your calendar during the event schedule. I know you've also done some book centric events because we saw each other up at Lagrange with the Lagrange Book
Yep.
Fair with Tony and you one of our inductees in our Imagination Hall of Fame, I might add. We just celebrated that again just a day or two ago. But yeah, the other what did you do some book centric events, or have you mainly been focusing on the arts and crafts fair kind of thing or holiday fair kind of thing?
No, just a couple weeks ago, I was actually in Lagrange at the from the Ground Up Books with Lynn,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and did really well down there. It worked out really good. Again, timing was great because they were having their Christmas festival in
Yeah.
town. So I sold fairly well, not as well as I'd hoped. I think if I would have stayed a little longer, because it was 4 o'clock and the crowds actually were just starting to come in. But unfortunately, I can't see too well to drive at night, and I needed to get
Yeah.
home before dark. But that she has a great bookstore down there, and that was my
She does.
second time I've been down there. So I'm hoping to go back again when my next book comes out.
Yeah, we got to go to the Shepherdsville location for From the Ground Up Books and had a really good day there and it was again really nice bookstore and really loved it and got to Len was there as well. But yeah, I look forward to getting over there to the Lagrange store and doing something because she's awesome. I love working with Len and that store is
Bring
Lagrange.
your money because she has a lot of good little trinkets in there.
Oh yeah, she does.
Uh-oh.
She almost, yeah, Holly almost. What was it? Oh God, it was Reiki or something. Yeah, that Holly was about to
Oh
get
well,
into.
she had Reiki, and then
Yeah,
this little lady that does Reiki there at
yeah,
that location. Oh man, there's a whole wall full of crystals
Yes.
and
Yes,
pendulums.
At Lagrange too.
Oh,
mhm,
see, I remember. I'm like, oh no. I said, Lynn, Oh, and she goes, "Oh, I know, you're drawn to that corner." I said,
Yep.
"Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." And I did walk out with a couple things. I couldn't help myself, but yeah.
Yep.
And
I
that's
think
I also at the Lagrange store I bought my Edgar Allan Poe pen that I wear. It's my favorite pen.
I
So
love
I
your
just
pen.
yes, I love that pen. So I wear that to all my book events because I
Oh, it's so
love
pretty.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Me too. Me too.
Yep.
But
That's
that's what my little birdie was named after too. My granddaughter Raven was that's
Oh
Raven.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
hmm
That's who she was named after. Was Nevermore.
yeah. You're
Yep.
speaking Holly's language when you're mentioning Edgar
Yeah.
Allan
Oh,
Poe.
I love Poe.
Oh
I've
yeah.
got many collections of Poe around, and I will say for my 50th birthday, it's my cherished collection of Poe poems. I'll have to take a picture of it and send it to you, Carol. You've got to see this book. It's like black and red, right? And it's just gorgeous.
Oh
Um,
wow.
the collection of Poe poems. It's
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous. And Jason William Allen and Stephanie got it for me, and
Oh
I'll
neat.
treasure it always. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know how it goes though, Carol. We're sometimes you just are a little too po to get everything you want though in that area.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. Here we go.
But
Stop it, Zinger. Zimmer zingers, Moon said.
yeah, I have to be on point tonight. I got to give Carol a good show here. So, but so what? So what is give us a picture of 2000 since we are nearing the new year. It's probably a
Already.
good question to ask you. What is the new year going to bring for you as far as go ahead and give us general releases and also events that you may have on the horizon. Well,
Okay.
obviously you're going to see you next summer, but other any
Yeah.
others.
Yeah. Well, the Coyote Canyon book, as I mentioned, hopefully that'll get out this spring or this summer. If I can get this screenplay finished and get back to my Nathan Perry book, I would love for it to be out by the end of 2025. But I'm not going to hold my breath. You never know what's going to happen, and I may get off on a tangent of something else. But I'm going to do my best because I know exactly I mean the fifth book in the Nathan Perry is going to be about Nathan's girlfriend Dana, who's the town newspaper reporter, and it's called uh, "Kill the Story." So
Nice.
I'm wanting to,
Nice.
like I said, get done with this screenplay so I can get back to it.
Well, we got another scoop tonight. Thank you. That's another bonus.
No you.
I did
Yeah.
not know that yet. So yeah, we got another
Yeah,
scoop
I
tonight.
haven't mentioned that too. I've mentioned it to a few people, but
Yeah.
I'm just like on second chapter, and like I said, I'm working on the screenplay, so I haven't got back to it. But it's actually sitting here. My book Bible is sitting here next to me on the couch, so I can grab it whenever I have an idea. I can stick it in my binder.
Nice. And I would be remiss if I did not ask about the Derby Rotten Scoundrels, your fine group there in the
Yes,
Louisville
yes, we
area.
are the Louisville chapter of the Ohio River Valley chapter of the Sisters in Crime, and we are the Derby Rotten Scoundrels. We meet in Louisville at the Middletown Public Library on the second Saturday of every month. Everyone's invited to our meetings. We usually meet in person, and at the same time, we also have Zoom meetings because a lot of our members aren't close enough to Louisville to attend in person, so they can attend via Zoom. But there is an event that the Derby Rotten Scoundrels are going to be taking part in that I'll be at in May, and I love this. I'm really excited about this. The Kentuckiana romance writers have invited us to an event that they're having, and I love the title of this. It's called Books, Hooks, and Crooks.
Nice.
And it's we'll be there with tables selling our books about crooks.
That's
That's
awesome.
hilarious.
Yeah, we love them too, and I love how it worked out for the table placements that we had both of you real close together. Yeah,
That worked out
Imaginarium.
so good. That's how we got connected with them, and we're hoping to have some joint meetings with them, and
Yeah,
it's just
that's
worked out really well.
Yeah, they're a great group too. Yeah, we of course are familiar with many members of both of your groups.
Yeah.
And when's that going to? I should say, where is that going to take place? Do you have
That's
other
going to be
details?
in Yeah, it's going to be in Georgetown, Indiana, on May 17th.
Okay, so look out for that.
Yeah, yeah,
Hooks and crooks.
yes.
Yes, we got to make sure I say that correctly.
Yeah, I
That,
know. I just when they
that's
told
good.
me what the name of it was going to be, I just said, "Well, yeah, I got to be there. I don't
Yeah,
care if nobody else comes from the group. I'm going to be there."
yeah. You'll be representing. Yeah,
That's
no,
right.
Yeah,
no problem. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, because I know,
yeah. I'm looking
like I
forward
said,
to
I know
that.
the writers from both of your groups, and yeah, it's a
Oh,
great
there's a
bunch.
lot of fun people in that bunch too. I
Yeah,
tell you,
yeah,
Oh
they're
yeah,
great. Enough.
yeah. Lane Munch and Lynn Slaughter, and then you have Misty Parker and Kelly Ferguson and the others. I mean, yeah, you got so many people that are there that are just
yeah.
great, good
Well,
and
we're
great
hoping
writers
to
too.
kind of bounce ideas off at a joint meeting. We're kind of hoping
Yeah,
to bounce ideas off of each other and see what we can come up with.
Uh oh,
cross genre. Yes,
and cross genre anthology heading your way.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
don't bring
books,
up
hooks,
anthology to us.
and crooks anthology. There
Yeah.
you go. I
Well,
just gave you an
the
idea.
last anthology we did was about bourbon, and I think
Yes.
that about killed some of the editors to get
I,
that out.
I was about to bring that up. I was like, at least you all put down the flag with bourbon, though, on the anthology
Yeah.
front. Very, very proud of you all for doing that.
Well, I unfortunately I'm not in. My name is in that book only
Yeah.
because I helped come up with the name and the cover and all that. But I wasn't a member of the group when they first started that, and I'm terrible at writing short stories anyway. But when they do anthologies, they try to come up with something that is centric to Louisville, Kentucky. And
Mhm.
they did a
A
Derby
thing.
one. Bourbon was next on the list.
Yep. And yes, and folks, just to make sure you get it right, it's the Derby, like Kentucky Derby, Rotten
Right.
Scoundrels. Yeah, because sometimes I crack up when people get it wrong online.
Yeah.
Hysterical.
I have to correct people too.
It's funny. I always get a good laugh about it because you're such a nice group. Not scoundrels at all. At least as far
Okay.
as I know. At least as
No
far as
comment.
I'm aware. At least as far as I'm aware. At least
Yeah,
with me.
well, what
Yeah.
happens at the
Yeah.
meetings stays at the
Stays at the
meetings.
meetings.
That's
Right,
right.
right.
That's right.
Oh Lord. So beyond May 17th, anything else on the map other than
Yeah, I've actually scheduled a few things. The week before the books Hooks and Crooks, I'm going to be in Charlestown, Indiana, for a Fall into Books event, which is going to be authors at a coffee shop in Charlestown that will be selling books, selling and signing.
Mhm.
And
Fun.
then in July, of course, is Imaginarium. And then in August, I'll be back at the LaGrange Book Fair. And so far, that's all I've got on my calendar, but I'm definitely adding things all the time. So I'm sure,
Yeah.
like I said, I try to at least do one a month.
Hmm.
I'm hoping, since I've got one that's one weekend and then another one the following weekend, I'm going to have to order more books because I'm afraid I might run out if I
Yep.
don't have enough
That
inventory
is a
having them
good
that close
problem.
together.
Yeah, because you wiped out on some titles. I know that
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
some of your appearances.
yep,
So that's good. That's a good problem. I love going home with empty boxes.
yes.
God, that's a good feeling. That happened a couple times during my recent run, and oh, it's a good feeling when you can empty a
Yes.
box or two out.
Yeah.
It's
It
fun.
seems like the print books are starting to pick up again.
They are.
They
It
are.
definitely
Yeah.
people want the physical copies in hand.
Nobody ever asks about ebooks anymore. They ask,
Yeah.
are they in audio? And I said, no, not yet.
Right.
But the print books, I do really well selling those in person. Probably better in person than I do online.
Yep. Well,
Oh
it's like
yeah. People love to hear from the author, and
yeah.
Yeah,
and
well, and they get a sign book.
Hmm.
well, that's
I
it too.
sign it
Yeah.
for them.
Right. They get to
It's
meet you and have you sign it and get a
Yeah.
pick, and it's cool experience.
it's like
And then they're
vinyl.
gonna buy more.
Tangible stuff is back in vogue again. It really is,
Yeah, it is.
and I think it gives people a nice break from being just screens and plugged in all the time. I think it gives them a nice shift, and I think that does play into everything from vinyl to printed books to other areas, physical art and stuff like that.
Well,
and two, it's real. You know, it's yeah, in the AI age, it's nice to have
yes,
real stuff.
right.
Yeah. So
And that's a good segue into what is Carol reading these days?
yes, what is Carol reading these days?
What I am reading right now, I am reading a book. I think it's been on the bestseller list. I'm not sure. It's called Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. It's about witches again, witches in New Orleans.
Nice.
My daughter had that book and said it was really good. It's really big. So if I have time to read it, I read that. But that's what I'm reading right now. I've got such a big to be read list that
Hmm.
I love thrillers. I love mysteries. So I've got all those on my bookshelf ready to read when I get to it.
Hmm. Yes, and you're on the TBR list of a lot of readers out there too. So,
I hope
Yep,
so.
but
I keep seeing people post their pile of to be read list of books. They have a picture on there. One of these days, I'm going to see my book there.
oh yeah,
Hopefully, fingers
that's right.
crossed.
yes, you are. Yes, you are. And any I don't know if it's too early to project, but when do you foresee? I mean, because your screenplays are excellent, and definitely give a shout out to Tony Acree again, because I know he also mentored you as far as being a
He did.
screenwriter,
Yep.
and I'm telling you, your stuff is really good, and yeah, I was really happy to see that you know did get recognized for your screenwriting work at like Imaginarium and so forth, and many other places.
Yeah.
But when do you have you heard from any filmmakers yet? Have you connected with any? What do you foresee? What do you have a time projection when you think one of your screenplays might get picked up or produced?
I did have a producer asked to read my short Summer Darkness that won an Imaginarium last year. They were looking for a 15-page screenplay horror thriller that they could make as soon as possible. So I contacted them, gave them my pitch, and she said, send it on. So I sent it. It was
Mhm.
eventually turned down, but I thought that's the first step, just like with the writer.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
Yep.
pitch and you may get turned down. I'm just now getting connected with other screenwriters that I'm learning what I need to do to try to get more well known and my books out there. I was just my the Homecoming to Murder Nathan Perry book that I adapted into a screenplay,
Mhm.
which also won an Imaginarium. That was just recently added to a list, somebody's list. I can't remember what it's even called now. Of about 50, 60 screenplays that producers look at to draw from. I'm on
Nice.
several screenwriters pages, Coverfly, Film Freeway, International
Hmm.
Screenwriters Association, and there's
Hmm.
one other one that I can't remember the name of. But my screenplays are all on there that people, the producers could go in and request to read. So, and I've had a couple requests, but nothing's ever come
Nice.
of it
Yet. Yet.
yet.
But
Fingers
Right.
crossed.
yeah, and you're definitely on some good places. We've dealt with ISA and Film Freeway for years and
Yeah,
love
yeah,
both those organizations. They're top notch. So that's good. That's good to hear. And yeah, I can't wait. I'd love to see even like if you did like your shorter works, if see a good independent filmmaker, pick it
yeah.
up and make a good production
I'd be
value
more
version of
than
it.
happy if that happened.
Yeah. So if you're listening, filmmakers, yeah, talk to Carol. So, all right. Well, is there anything that we have not covered with you tonight that you were just dying to get out there to the public as
I
far
don't
as
think
anything?
so. Maybe just my social media
Yeah.
platforms
Oh,
where they
yeah.
can find me.
We weren't going to forget that, but yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I
since you mentioned it,
that's
go ahead. Yes.
yeah. Well, on Facebook, I'm author Carol Preflatish is my author page on there. On Twitter or X and on Blue Sky, I'm just Carol Preflatish. Um, X, I usually talk more about my books. Blue Sky, I usually talk more about my screenplays on there. I've connected really well with screenwriters on Blue Sky. And then my website is carolpre.com. And then I am also on Instagram, not a lot, but every once in a while on there. And it's Carol _pre.
Hmm.
And that's pretty much my my active social media.
Yes, and folks, yeah, definitely connect because it's not only do you find out about her screenplays and books, but you also get to see her cool photography. So it's a definite reason
Yes.
to follow Carol as well. In addition to the great
Since I've
work,
moved to the city, I don't get to take pictures like I did when I was living in the country, but
right?
they're still out there once in a while.
Well, I have a hunch that you're gonna get a bunch when you go northeast.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
Knowing you,
I'm planning
yes.
on it.
But
I can't
th-
wait.
but thank you. Yeah, tonight has been just a blast, and I hope you didn't mind my punniness tonight, as I couldn't help myself. But thank you so much
He
for.
just can't help himself.
No, I couldn't help
Well,
myself.
I'm a good straight partner there.
Yes, but thank you so much, and it's been great having you on the show, and we'll have to have you on a regular basis now that you've not now that you've experienced what it's like to be a guest, and we're not that bad. So
Actually, I think this is my third time that I've been on here. The
this
first
is
time
Yes.
third
on
time.
Podbean, but I was when it was on the other venue. I was on there a couple times.
Were you
Yes.
okay? It's been a long time. Yeah, it's been a long
Yeah,
time since you've been
it's
on
been a
though.
couple years.
Yeah,
I think
but
when
yeah,
Witch
we
Hunt came out, maybe.
yes, that is
Yeah.
right. That is
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I
I
think
Yeah.
just
so.
in my head, I was just like, I was trying to think. It's been a long time, but yeah, I'm just so glad you got to join us tonight, and been great catching up with you, and definitely have you back anytime, of course. So I'll turn it over to Holly to do the final tie up of the show here. But thanks, Carol. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. I really enjoy being on here.
Yes. Thank you for being a great guest, and I can't wait to see the pictures. But everybody, join us next Wednesday, same place, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Well, let's see, what will that be? No, we won't be here next Wednesday. We
No,
will be
next
here
Monday.
next
Monday
Monday for our Christmas Eve
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 Eve special, Christmas Eve
with
special
Tommy
with
B.
Tommy
Smith.
B. Smith. Yes,
Yes, that's right. We
tradition goes
will.
onward.
Surprise! So, you all have a great rest of the week and be creative. And we will hear from you on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night, everyone.